So, with all the different designs and options available, how do you choose the best monitors for your studio? Well, of course, personal taste is always a factor. While studio monitors are all designed to have suitably accurate, flat response, they still all have their own particular tonal balance. Some are brighter, some are smoother, some have more or less low end, and personal preferences will inevitably come into play. But there are also more practical and technical reasons for leaning towards one type of speaker or another. I've touched on these throughout the course, but let's do a quick recap. Naturally, smaller studios will gravitate to smaller monitors, but medium to larger rooms may want to have 2 or more sets of monitors for different stages of production. A pair of large speakers might be used during tracking to provide loud, high-energy playback to performers who've just been playing loudly in the live room. These monitors would also be suitable in mixing to provide a good idea of what a mix might sound like on bigger speakers, like club sound systems. These days, the main monitors for mixing are usually console-top monitors, which would probably be a good reference for most playback systems. And there should always be a smaller, typically band-limited set of speakers to stand in for small, cheap playback systems and computer and tablet speakers for checking that a mix works even in those limited playback environments. And of course, headphones would also be available for checking mixes, but here we're just concerned with speakers. Of course, the type of projects that the studio will focus on is always a consideration. Music studios probably don't need a subwoofer, while rooms that handle post-production projects may need both a sub and a full surround monitoring setup. Studios that focus on pop music might prefer a brighter speaker, while studios that focus more on classical or acoustic music might prefer a smoother sounding monitor with a smoother, more mellow high end, like with a ribbon tweeter. When clarity is key, like with high-res audio projects, carefully set up time-aligned monitors, like coaxial speakers, might be a good choice. Likewise, a music production room that focuses on pop music might prefer one of the monitor designs that provides strong bass, like vented systems such as ported monitors, even if that bass doesn't go quite as deep as a monitor with a sealed enclosure. Studios that focus more on classical or acoustic music might prefer a sealed cabinet and the extra bass extension common to that design, despite a possibly less emphasized overall low end. Of course, with the best monitors, any type of cabinet design can be entirely suitable, regardless of the musical style. But with smaller, inexpensive monitors, there may be enough of a difference to be worth considering. Powered monitors are the norm nowadays, but if a set of monitors is being added to a setup as an alternate speaker reference, and there's already an amp and speaker switcher in place, then it might make sense to save a little money on the extra amplification and get a better pair of passive monitors. If powered speakers are chosen, then active monitors, like biamp speakers with active crossovers and separate amps for the drivers, may provide the greatest efficiency at the most modest cost. Size is always a factor. Many smaller studio spaces can't really accommodate large monitors, so smaller speakers will be needed. In that case, ported designs would be the most likely choice, as that's the type of cabinet design that's usually employed to extend the bass response of smaller cabinets. Alternatively, a pair of diminutive monitors could be paired with a subwoofer stashed out of the way. Smaller rooms not only offer less space for larger monitors and fewer positioning options, but also are more likely to be plagued by room anomalies, so speakers that are small enough to be suitable for near-field monitoring would be a good bet. If the room is very small, then strong extended bass might exacerbate problematic room modes. Smaller speakers with a smooth but modest low end might turn out to be a better choice. And of course, if effective room treatment is not a viable option to deal with problematic reflections in room modes, then a DSP monitor, or separate DSP software used with the monitors, may be the best way to achieve a suitably flat, neutral balance for recording and mixing. And that brings us to the end of the course. I'll wrap up briefly in the next and last video.